My name is Matt McClure, and Patrick, Kimber, and I are all passionate about traveling and have gone on a variety of different adventures. We have made this video to share some of those stories. In the summer of 2016, my family took a trip to Panama. My siblings and I have been to 42 states, but this was the first time that we have left the country. Today I'm going to take you on a virtual trip of just a few things I saw in Panama. To get around the country, we had a bus tour guide. Some of our days we were on the bus for no more than 2 hours total. Other days it was 4 or 5. Throughout our travels, our guide took us around plenty of beautiful places. On our trip, we were able to visit the Panama City, the rainforest, the beach, Frank Gehry's Museum of Biodiversity, and we got to travel through the Panama Canal. While in Panama, I saw a lot more than I'm able to show due to the time allotted. There are plenty of things I love about traveling, but the thing I may enjoy most is the historical aspect.
I got to travel to Eastern Europe, Germany, Czech Republic for a University International Choir tour in the summer of 2016. Here's some group shots that we got to take. Salt mines in Poland. I got to sing in front of the grave of Johann Sebastian Bach, super cool, and at the Reichstag building in Germany, in Berlin. Here are some important things about travel. And here's some significant locations that we got to visit. So at the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camps, we learned extensively what life was like being forced to live there. And at the Wartburg Castle, where the Reformation era was taking off, we got to learn all about Martin Luther. So both sites have very significant history for Germany and Poland, but they also have expanded impacts for the history of the world. So more directly, for history and travel, we have supply and demand. And when we look at places like Germany and Berlin, we can also talk about places like New York City or Tokyo. There's always hubs for tourism and a large demand for little trinkets and memorabilia to remember those locations by. So out in these places like Berlin, you'll be able to buy these little items, but there's not so much this demand in the countryside. So you have an example of supply and demand while you're traveling, and it's a great way to explain how important travel is to different economies around the world. And here's this.
Thanks, Matt and Patrick. All this talk about travel makes me realize what a luxury it really is. The shelter-in-place orders, trips to grocery stores feel like the closest thing to traveling. But back in 2017, my friend Sarah and I hit the road and embarked on the ERT, or Epic Road Trip. 7 states, 6 national parks, 5 campgrounds, 4,000 miles, 3 face plants, hiking, tripping, falling, face planning, 2 14ers, 1 hotel room because we desperately needed showers, and 0 flat tires. I love traveling because so many people do it without realizing how much science is involved. Inherent to travel is the first law of thermodynamics, which states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be transferred or transformed. There are many different forms of energy that can be classified as either of 2 types, kinetic or potential. Cars like Kimber here are the perfect example of the next generation high school physical science standard 3-3, a device that converts one form of energy into another. Within the car engine is a combustion reaction. This type of reaction involves the burning of a hydrocarbon in the presence of oxygen and forms carbon dioxide and water. In this case, chemical energy stored in gasoline is converted to heat, thermal energy, and motion, mechanical energy. This is how Hubert took us from the Grand Canyon to Glacier National Park. Just like Hubert converted energy, our bodies also work similarly. Sarah and I have our own combustion reaction taking place called cellular respiration. Glucose found in the food we consumed is a chemical energy that gets converted to thermal and mechanical energies. This transformation of potential to kinetic energies allowed us to ascend elevations with incredible views. Well, that's all for today. Stay tuned for our next episode where we travel in search of the world's best breakfast burrito.